Hello, I'm Mary Copeland, and welcome to another episode of The Road Ahead. Through a series of guests, we are going to help you navigate your own road ahead as you age. We will help guide you on your journey and that of your aging parents, because let's face it, who wants to be blindsided and find themselves in a crisis mode simply because they didn't have access to information? Today, our guest is Paula Weisinger. Paula is highly experienced. She's been with State Farm for 20 years, and over those 2 decades, 12 of them have been spent at the corporate office. So she's been in the trenches when it comes to 9/11, Katrina, hurricanes, wildfires, you name it. So we definitely have a pro with us today. Paula has an MBA, and she has multiple certifications as it pertains to insurance. She is located on the beautiful Bainbridge Island, and she serves the Kitsap Peninsula. Paula, welcome to The Road Ahead.
Good morning, Mary. Thank you for having me.
I'm delighted to have you here because Paula, as I said, she is the go-to person when it comes to insurance. So today, what I would like to discuss with you is the triangle of protection as it pertains to insurance. Can you explain to myself and the viewers exactly what that is?
Absolutely. I'd be happy to do that.
Great.
The triangle of protection is a great way to remember the 3 points that you need to think about when you're insuring your home. Most everyone knows that they need to have homeowners insurance, and so that is at the top of the triangle. But the other 2 things that could happen is most of us have a mortgage payment, correct? And if we get sick or injured or possibly die prematurely, how is that mortgage going to get paid? So the other 2 legs of the triangle is the life insurance and the disability insurance to cover the mortgage.
Okay, so we've got a triangle. We've got home at the top. I've heard the acronym LIFE, L-I-F-E. Can you break that down for us, please?
Sure. So we go over a life needs analysis in our office. It's fairly simple to do. If you put LIFE on the side of a piece of paper and think about what type of loans you have, your mortgage would be one of them.
Okay.
Any car loans, student loans, credit card debt, that type of thing. How much money that you make in a year. Sometimes couples that come in that I insure, one person works or maybe they both do. We need to think about how many children they have, how old are the children. So how much money do you make in a year, and how many years would you like to see your spouse, should they be left without you, to have that income replacement?
Okay.
Then of course you have F is for funeral expenses, and E is for education for any children or yourself or your spouse that you might want to still obtain.
Okay, so we've got this triangle, and it's covering homeowners, disability, and income. Am I saying that correct?
Yep, so it's
Okay.
covering your home in case of fire and other types of perils that might happen. Then you're looking at your disability insurance in case you get sick or injured and are not able to work. Do you have enough disability insurance to cover your mortgage? And then of course you need to look at your life insurance about what would happen if you didn't come home. How would the mortgage get paid? Because you wouldn't want your family to lose your home if you were unexpectedly dying prematurely.
You don't think of these things when you're a young family starting out. So if we have life insurance, do I need disability insurance?
Oh, absolutely. So the life insurance covers your death, but the disability insurance covers a disability you may have. And there are different types of disability insurance in terms of the length of the policy. You can get a short-term policy, or you can get a long-term policy, or even both.
Now, what if I'm employed and through my benefits at work, I have my 401k and they take out money each month from my paycheck for disability? Do I still look at bundling that in with a triangle policy when I'm sitting down with an agent such as yourself?
So that is one of the final questions I ask. Let's go back to the LIFE, the life needs analysis. Once I obtain that number for you about your total need with your mortgage, your income replacement, funeral, and education expenses, we have some type of number. And then I subtract out anything that you might already have for yourself. Maybe your parents purchased a life insurance policy for you when you were younger. Maybe you have something at work. So we take all those things in consideration in terms of what your current need is at the moment. And sometimes people stack these types of policies as they can afford them. Disability is the same way. Depending on how much your policy is worth at work, usually 40, maybe 60%, you can substitute an additional amount to help you pay your mortgage should you become disabled.
Wow. So you don't always think of these things. So when a couple comes into your office, how do you talk about protecting income? You know, so give me, let's use me as an example. I'm married. My husband and I are both self-employed, and we have 2 teenagers in high school. So how would you sit down with me to do the triangle?
Okay. So one of the first questions I usually ask is if you know what your biggest asset is.
Okay, and usually the answer would be their home.
Most people think it's their home. It's actually not. It's actually your income. It's your ability to earn money. Because if you think about where your paycheck goes, it goes not only to your home, but it crosses over everything. You know, in my case, I own my own business, so my income helps me pay for my employees. You probably have the same situation. You also have children. They have needs as well. So you have to think about your income as your highest asset, and you need to protect that. If you're sick or injured or die prematurely, that income is now gone. What does that leave your family? Those are the types of questions that I start with to get people starting to think about the what-if scenarios so that they can protect themselves for the unexpected.
I remember I was working with an agent to get a life insurance policy on my husband. Because you can do that. A wife can get one on her husband and a husband on the wife.
That is right.
And he was asking me, so how long, you know, do you want this policy for? How old are the kids? And so I selected 15 years because, God forbid, if something should happen, then what would happen in that 15 years, the kids have to go through school, like you were saying, education, and so replacing that income. So that's just a piece of the triangle, though.
It's just a piece. Most mortgages are 30 years. And a lot of times people want to keep a life insurance policy upon their death, whether that be 80, 90, 100 years old, to help with estate taxes. So it really benefits you to sit down and do a free insurance and financial review with your agent. I know I do them with all of my customers every 2 to 3 years, just to get a pulse on the life cycle of your insurance needs.
So this triangle, is this the starting point? You know, do a lot of people come in and start with the triangle, like if they're a new couple, you know, just starting their family, just bought their first home, is this where they start?
Well, that's a very good question. So most people call our office. State Farm is known for the auto and homeowners. When someone's going to buy a home, they're all thinking about their homeowner's policy. So we take care of their immediate need. After that's done and their closing is over and they're moved in and they've got their window decorations up and life is good, then we bring them back into the office and we talk about things like mortgage protection in terms of disability benefits at work, where are the gaps, life insurance, do you have enough? As they have more children, as they add on to their home, their life insurance need may grow over the years. So it's always beneficial to sit down with your agent every 2 to 3 years to do a free insurance and financial review to make sure you don't have any gaps in coverage.
So now let's go to the other end of the cycle. And if you come into your office as a couple and want to talk about the triangle policy and you're in your 70s, is it any different than, because now let's say we're retired and our income is going to be much different than that conversation we started with when we were starting our family and our careers. So how do you work with seniors as it pertains to the triangle?
Well, the triangle isn't exactly a policy. It's just a concept of a way for someone to think about how they need to protect their home and their income. Insurance has a life cycle. It is cyclical. So it starts off different when you're young. Your needs are different, probably renter, auto, that type of thing. As you get engaged, you're going to need a personal articles policy, buy a house, you know, the triangle of protection. And now, senior citizen, we're looking at things more like Medicare supplement, CDs, different types of savings. And some of these other policies have dropped off, probably disability income. People are no longer working. Life insurance now will either get transitioned from term to whole, so it could be there when they are in their final days.
Explain term to whole.
Term insurance is temporary. I explain it like this. Term insurance is like renting, and permanent insurance is like buying a home. So in buying a home, you are paying more money, but you have an asset. Term insurance is temporary, but it's less expensive.
Okay.
So those are the different options I present when people come in. You can have a need, but there's always different ways to fit it into your budget. There's different price points to kind of get you where you want to be.
So it's kind of like the different chapters in your life
Yes.
determine the different vehicle you might drive, or the home you might live in, or the type of insurance that you carry. So if you wanted to give any parting insurance wisdom on this topic to our viewers, what would you like to say to them today?
Well, I have been doing this for a couple of decades, as you had mentioned, and I've done this all over the country. So what I would like to tell people is to make sure that you don't avoid the topic. It's kind of like going to the dentist. You should go every 6 months so you don't have some major problem that you wouldn't have had you have had your regular checkups. And the insurance checkups are the same. Go in and talk to your agent every 2 to 3 years to make sure that you're reviewing all of your coverages and that you don't have any gaps.
Perfect. I'd have to say Paula has been a delightful guest today, and I am so excited that she shared her wisdom with us and her experience, and I look forward to bringing her back for another episode. Thank you for your time today, Paula and viewers, and until the next time, have a great day.